another hour of power. This is Your Solution Podcast with Coach Jim and Coach Santos out of Stockton, California. We're going to be here for about 45 minutes. This is one of the most dedicated, specialized times for you and I, for us, to regather, optimize, plan, and go forward. Remember, gambling's a lie. You're here because you're looking. We're going to support you. We're going to provide a solution. We're going to come to a solution working together. So once again, get inside, click it or ticket, turn down all distractions, make sure that you grab a pen, and did you invite a friend? Coach Santos, I'm going to see you on the inside.
Who knows? I might be live right now. We're having a little bit of a slight technical difficulty. That's all. We're going to get started ASAP. Welcome to the world. Welcome to YouTube. Welcome to Facebook. Welcome to LinkedIn. Uh-oh. We really did it that time, didn't we? Okay. It's all right. See? We just got a result from that one. Okay. Bear with me here. We're going to get started. I want to welcome everybody. Jim, I'm not sure if you're hearing me, but if you are, okay, there we go. So welcome. There's Jim. All right. Jim. Okay. Well, welcome. Let me see. Race. Ken, welcome. Dennis, welcome. Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Welcome to, this is our power hour of healing. We're going to, what was it that I said earlier? We are creating a healing environment. I like that. Okay, Jim, I'm not sure if you've gotten the link to jump on. Do you need me to do that? Jim's got some topics on his mind. I want to explore what Jim has on his mind and see how we can all support one another in this 45-minute think tank brainstorming time that we have, that we've been privileged to come together with. So you don't have it. And anybody else that wants to come on the camera. Okay, let me do this. I sent you an email. Okay. Will it work if I paste it on here? Will that help you? Let me see. Will that make it faster? I'm not sure. Okay. Anyways, we do have a proverb. We're going to be here for about 45 minutes today. I'm thinking, again, I'm thinking healing. I'm thinking hope, insight. How about you on the other side? Hi, Laura. Okay, so Jim, you have it. You're welcome. And I have a clip that I'm going to play. Please, I'm begging you, stay with me. I have a clip that I believe every gambler in the world needs to hear. And I hope YouTube doesn't shut me down for doing this. Okay, so Jim's got some thoughts. We've got a proverb that we're going to be bringing in. And again, I'm looking out for if you have a question, you got an observation, you got a thought. There's a lot going on. We don't want to throw everything all into the mix, but I'm looking out for your question. So that's what I'm looking out for. So Jim's got something on his mind. We're going to bring him on. Jim, talking about, we're talking about challenging and becoming our very best, bringing out the very best. I think that's what you had quite a few thoughts in that. So, by the way, again, I'm looking for your questions, please. If you got a question there, Jim's going to bring up this, and then I'm going to bring up the proverb, and then we'll get into this discussion. And folks, again, we're here. I don't know about you guys, but I've got my notes. I've got my notes handy dandy. I've got my just in case I start getting some results. Can't we all get results? I got my other notes, you know what I'm saying? My backup. And I've got my backup here, man. So hopefully I won't get too distracted tonight. But again, we're here, what are we here for? We're here to learn, to grow, to energize, pick up something and move on, right? Pick something up, move on. Or else if we're not, we might be wasting our time. And I definitely don't want to waste my time or anybody else's. Right, Jim? So welcome.
Hi there, Santos. Good evening. How are you doing?
I'm working on super fantastic, terrific, over the top, man. I'm working on it.
Excellent.
Trying to keep a smile.
Yeah.
So you had some thoughts, Jim. You were talking about the battle and what was the topic that we had looked at in the we had some subtopics.
One of the topics that I suggested was taking the offense in our lives. I'm not talking about being offensive, but I'm talking about taking the offense. Like in a football game, you have offense, defense. I'm talking about taking the offense in our lives. What I mean by that, this program is geared to help those who have problems with gambling and other kinds of addictive behaviors. And I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about, well, why do people have these kinds of addictions, right? And it's triggers, right? And what are these triggers? These triggers are things that affect us emotionally, right? They're like these things that are external, but we are controlled by them, almost like a puppet master. And it's just unfortunate because this, we live in a fallen world, right? And there's a lot of evil out there who wants to go and control our mind. Our mind is like very valuable real estate, very valuable real estate. And you know what? I mean, there's entities out there who just want to have control over it, because it's very valuable to them. And it has something to do with triggers and emotions. And I think one of the things that we have to internalize, accept, is that we are responsible for our emotions. We are responsible for our emotions. What do I mean by that? I mean that we have control. We can control our emotions. We don't have to accept the triggers. We don't have to accept all those external things to control us. We can control ourselves because we have tools. We have tools. We're going
in
to
all actuality, we can. Yes, in all actuality, we can.
Now, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that we can't get knocked down. We get knocked down all the time. Life throws us those sidewinders and curveballs, and it throws us against the wall. We're down on our butt. We're thrown back on our heels, right? But I think what we need to do is figure out a way to kind of reduce that amount of time, basically become more resilient and bounce back. We're not going to go ahead and be in that permanent state of being controlled, right, by all those triggers. That like the devil and the demons want us to run to the casino or to the alcohol or to the drugs or to the food, as escapes, as a way to handle those triggers. And that's detrimental to us. you know. But with the tools that we gain from this program,
if
we
if
can start.
yeah,
Yeah,
anything can be detrimental if we're not in control.
right, right. So reducing that amount of time that we are in that state of being on our heels, because I think the addict is always living a life on the defensive, always on his heels, always getting pushed into a corner. Okay, because he or she doesn't know what to do. But I think that because of this program, we understand that we have awareness, we have tools, and the biggest tool that we can develop is controlling our mind, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
control the ability to believe, that you can control your mind and your life, even though like you said a little bit ago, we get shaken.
hmm right, right. We can get knocked down, and yeah, the
So we get results. It's in fact, I might have mentioned this on TikTok. By the way, I'm looking out. Hey, Bill, Laura, Mark, Ken, Race, Facebook, LinkedIn. I'm looking for your questions. I talked about result. I think it's really good when you think about this. I think it's pretty cool. And by the way, please stay with me. Please stay in this program. Please stay here. I got something I want to share with you. If you're struggling with, especially if you're struggling with gambling, okay, if you're struggling with gambling, stay here. I got something I want to share with you. It's a video. It's a voice from the underworld. Maybe you've heard it before. Maybe you haven't. Stick around. I got something I want to share with you. We get results, Jim. I was telling Dennis we've been working. Uh, Sometimes it feels like we've got like little hammers, like little hammers, and we're just hitting the rock. The rock is so huge, and we've got these little tiny hammers. They almost look ridiculous, but that's what it feels like sometimes. It does. It feels like we've got these little tiny hammers, and then we look around and other people got big hammers. I'm like, man, how did that person get their hammer so big? How? And they're getting big results. They're getting more results.
yeah.
Well, some started out like we do, right, with the little hammer. Maybe you've got big hands. I don't know. I don't know. I was thinking about big hands. There's a funny commercial where, was it? Oh man, was that on Seinfeld? The lady. Anyways, results. Let's get back to results. All right. I'm sorry to take you guys off subject there, but that's what we were talking about. You're getting results. We're getting
Yeah.
results. What are we doing with all this? What are we doing with the analysis? In other words, right? It's like I was thinking about this place here. This is a think tank. Really, when you think about what we're doing here, this is like a brainstorming. I call it an enviro, right? Enviro, short for environment. This is
Yeah.
a think tank, and we're looking for results. I mean, that's what I want.
And Santos, I need to go and emphasize this. I mean, everyone, most people on this program, they want to. The name of the game is being free from their addiction, the gamble, right? And I want to emphasize that our focus shouldn't necessarily be 100% on that goal. Okay, that's not the main thing. The main thing, I believe, is the process that we develop in our mind. The
Yeah.
process, refining that process. If we can go and take care of the important process of knowing that we have control of our mind, we don't have to be triggered. If we practice this process of using tools, you know, taking action,
Yeah.
analyzing what we observed, and doing it again and again and again, refining. The gamble will
Yeah.
take care of itself. The addiction will take care of itself.
Yep. Yep.
It's the small little steps that we can go and take care of in the choice of our thoughts.
In other words, we create an environment, right? Now, we might think, well, I'm not talking about building a house or a shack in the woods with brush. You can take 15 minutes of your day and grab your journal and shut everything down, right? We do have 15 minutes out of the day. I'm sure we can find 15 minutes or 10 minutes. And for those 10 minutes, you can create enviro. You can create a brainstorming session. I like to use the blackboard. I like to write on the, because you can erase it. It's really good. The whiteboard, I mean. It's not a blackboard. Blackboard, same thing, but that's a whiteboard, obviously. You create environment. We're creating an environment right here. This is an environment, man. What did I come to this environment with? I came to this place with the thought of healing. I came here with the thought, the hope for something better, for feeling better, for thinking better, for doing better tomorrow. That's what I come here with, right? I come here with that expectation. I come here to be challenged, just like everybody else. So I think, what you're sharing, Jim, also has to do with, looking at the results that we're getting, analyzing these results. How do we stay in the offense? We have to have defense too. You have to have both offense and defense, but you're speaking about the offense part.
Yes.
We're getting results.
And how do we get into that offensive state? One of the things that I think that can help is just cultivating hope, right? And excitement. If you can get excited about the process, I mean, I think about thought, intentional, positive thought, intention, action, and reflection. You think about those things. If you can go ahead and go through those steps about how you can go ahead and help remove yourself from that trigger that takes you to your addiction. I don't want to go ahead and, like, you can go and say, you know what? I don't want to be angry. It's like, I don't want to be afraid. I don't want to be confused. This situation, this person is putting me in this situation where I'm getting triggered. Okay. And I'm not feeling good, but you can go and stop this. You know what? I don't want to feel like this. I don't have to feel like this. I'm responsible for how I feel. And I'm not going to go and let this person or this situation trigger me to go to my addiction. Okay. Thought, right? What's my intention? Is I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to allow this trigger. Take action. I'm going to let it go. 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 I'm going to go ahead and read a book. I'm going to journal. I'm going to watch some of Santos's videos. Right?
Sure.
After I watch the video, I'm going to reflect. How do I feel now? And then all of a sudden, you know what? I'm not at the casino. I'm not at my addiction. I'm doing something productive. I'm getting excited about this. Look at this process. And you do it again. We were talking about perfection, Santos. And, it's like, there's ideas about, no one can be perfect. But I think if you keep on doing something over and over again, right? You can get closer and closer to that perfection. And perfection is like almost effortless, and that's where we want to be. I think last week I talked about, I want to get to that place where, when I do something, it's effortless, it's easy. I don't even have to think about it.
Well, that's through practice of
exactly
reprogramming the deep part of the mind that has absorbed all of the bad software over the years. We've got bad software, call it spiritual, call it physical. So because of the fact that our minds work like a computer, they're not a computer, far beyond the computer, but they're attached to the emotions and all of these things that we've got. They're there. They're not going to go away. you have to manage through that. And again, I don't know, is that being on the offense? You know, I mean, I'm thinking, because the thing is, you have to believe, right? And the only way that you can truly believe is sometimes you have to hit rock bottom to believe. Sometimes it happens that way. I don't know why it happens that way. It's mysterious, but it does. Maybe because we're stubborn. Let me see if I'm trying to, because I want to get, I'm looking at Bill. I see what you're saying, Bill. And first of all, I want to say thank you for taking time to share what you have and support us here, all of us. I appreciate that. I want you to know that, you know. Um, Jim, go ahead. I want to talk to Bill here for a minute, but go ahead and
Yeah,
continue on this note
I
about
mean, like
what we were just talking about here.
we're talking about the mind and how since we were born, this evil world has been programming our mind, has just been taking over,
Mhm.
the real estate up here, you know, and it's been triggering us. I mean, it's like when something happens, the mind, the diabolical mind pushes us, you know, to those awful places, to those addictions, right? Making us feel that they're fake, they're false, right? It's because up here we lost control. We lost control, but now, now we can go and say, you know what? No more. I'm going to go ahead and take the fight to the enemy. I'm going to take back. I'm going to take back this possession of mine, you know, and I'm not going to go ahead and continue allowing these triggers, to control my life. I'm going to go ahead and take the fight to the enemy, you know, and we have that choice of thinking. We have that
And,
choice of thinking.
and you know, let me share something here with those of us that are listening. I see there's people that are listening, there's people that are coming on and visiting. And, you know, we're going to be here for probably another 20 minutes or so, maybe 25 minutes. And, you know, I'm thinking about what's being said here. I'm thinking about the environment. I'm thinking about what I'm doing here. You know, what am I doing here? Obviously sometimes this can be a little bit more of a funny program, but I like I said, I want definitely, I have something. Stay with us here, Bill. Stay with us. I'm glad you're here. You know, I my heart goes out to you, man. And I want you to know something, that you're not alone, brother. You know, you might feel all alone there where you are. You might feel that way. And you know what? I don't blame you for feeling that way. I don't blame you, man. You know, the situation that you're in. We've I know I've been in some very lonely times also. But I've learned to reach out. I've learned to ask for support. I've learned to humble myself and say, you know what? What can I get out of this thing? What can I do here? Um, maybe I can grab a piece of paper and take some notes that I can read for the next week. We don't take advantage. And this goes to really dial in on what you're talking about, Jim, being on the offense and preparing ourselves for this daily battle that we're all going through. I don't believe we're taking enough advantage of the tools and the time that we have available. I believe that we can do more. Like I said, I come into this program with hope, with expectation. I'm being challenged to grow some more, to prepare myself. You know, what can I do? Where, instead of focusing like we're talking about, maybe it is being on, instead of focusing on what can I do? Right? Bill, you're speaking about being normal. You want to be normal again. You're a normal person. It's just that the lie, is, again, the lies got caught up in your mind, and you need a place of healing, man. You need a place to come to where you can be normal and experience normal, and that's what I'm here for. I've been a gambler. I hit it very well. I'll admit I hit it very well. About 32 plus years I did. I had periods where I didn't even gamble. I was either in a program or part of a church or in the military to a certain degree. But nevertheless, thousands of hours got wasted and a lot of money. And, but the thing is that even though I had lost hope, because I didn't believe that I was going to, I didn't know. I didn't know what was going to happen. I was very scared. Is what it was. I was very scared. And I just kept hoping, I guess. I kept praying. I just kept doing the things that I did. And eventually I learned a little bit more. I learned about YouTube and Google Hangouts and all these other things. And I just said, you know what? I'm going to go all in, man. And I just convinced myself is what I did. I told myself, Santos, you don't have a choice. You got to do this, man. You don't have a choice, man. And I did. I literally would talk to myself like that in front of the mirror. Many times I would tell myself, you don't have a choice, man. And sometimes I would fall and give in, 2014, 2015, 2016. I had some struggles. But I told myself, you know what? I'm not going to let you down, man. We're going to get through this. And guess what? Through the process, I believe you're going to be able to help somebody else. And that's why I'm here. I believe that's why Jim's here. And that's why you guys are all here. I believe that. So I feel compelled. I feel compared to share what I just shared. And by the way, I do have a verse that I want to read. I'm going to give Jim an opportunity here. And again, I'm glad that you're here, Bill. I'm glad. I hope that you stick around. I hope that you become a part of my tribe. It becomes our tribe. And, we grow together instead of just going. We don't want to go, right? You want to go into the 2024. You want to go into 2025. I want to grow into 2024. I want to grow into 2025. I suppose you guys want the same thing. Go ahead, Jim. I felt I really needed to share that. Thank you I appreciate you guys donating, also supporting this. I appreciate this. Go ahead, Jim.
I think everyone wants, a couple things. We all want peace and we all want direction, purpose, direction. We want peace in our life and we want direction. Okay. When we have these external things that are triggering us, it sets our life out of control, and we have the ability, we have the ability to, create peace in our life, right? I think in the Bible there's something about, peace with God, peace of God, and peace with God, something like that.
The
We
peace
have,
of God that surpasses all understanding
yeah, uh-huh.
and beyond reasoning. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you follow the Bible, I guess, Paul was going through all sorts of bad things, horrible things, but he was able to, in spite of all the problems, being in jail and shipwrecked and all that kind of stuff, tortured, beat up, he was able to, you know, find peace, a certain amount of peace. And we have
Yeah.
that ability. We can go and let go of a lot of these triggers. We don't have to hang on to them. We don't have to allow them to beat us down. We can go and control. And when we have that peace, we have power. We have power, right?
Yeah.
We have a sound mind. You talk about having a sound mind, right? Now
The
you can't
power
have
has
a
to
sound
be
mind.
it has to be developed. The power, all of these things that we're talking about, they have to be developed, and we have to create environments for those things. It's if the environment isn't there, you can have a bow, you can have a fire extinguisher.
Yeah, and when you I mean, like, the direction in your life is, you know what, I want to have control. I want to take back control. I want to take back control. And when we go back to the process, what is the process? You know, Focus on, thinking, right? You know, in the best way, that's uplifting, that's helpful to us, not negative speak, not negative talk, but thoughts that can uplift us, that are positive, that are helpful, you know, you know, uh, intentions. What do we want? What do we want? Right? That will be
Yeah.
good for us. You know, Taking the action and then reflecting and doing it over and over and refining, refining. You just keep doing it,
Yeah.
keep doing it. Every time one of those triggers happen, you go through that process. You go through the process. It takes energy. It takes effort. It's not easy because we've been so brainwashed by these
Yeah.
triggers. We've been affected by these triggers, and we feel like, it's out of my control, helpless.
Yeah.
I'm just
Helpless. That's
right. I can't do anything. No, no, we can do something about it. You know,
and we are doing something. We need to really start focusing on more of we're already taking action. I believe one of the things that's going to help us stay on the offense is our talk. Sometimes I have to catch myself too. We're saying things almost as if we're kind of wanting them. Instead, we ought to be saying things like we believe, even though we don't have it, but that's what we want. So we should be telling ourselves, it's like if you want to do the right thing, okay, well, you have to convince yourself, right? That's one way to do it. There's many ways to convince yourself to do something, right? You can, there's, but you can also simply just start talking to yourself, right? Get up every morning, read your poem, your 5 sentences. We talked about that a while back. You're talking to yourself. After a while, you're going to listen to yourself. After really getting like talking to yourself in the mirror or doing a lot of journaling, I'm talking about like repetitive writing, you're going to start believing what it is that you're doing. It's, I don't know, call it magical or it works. I didn't think it worked, but I started and it works. But so now, you want more. And sometimes you get impatient because things are working for your life and things are changing, but then you come into an area where, man, it doesn't seem like it's working anymore. What I was doing. So now you got to find a different, it's like you got to create environments. You got to create places, think tanks, brainstorming sessions, if
um,
that makes sense. So, Bill, this is a great place for you. Out of time, Laura, uh,
I I
and
like to think about, you know our emotions, right? Our emotions are like the trigger, right? And if we can go out and start becoming more aware of our emotions, it's like Bill was talking about some negative things about himself, you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
and I'm sure that he was feeling some negative things about himself.
yeah.
That's a perfect opportunity to stop and reflect. I'm feeling this kind of this negative stuff at me, you
That's
know?
a result. That's a result right there. If you look at it as a result, right? It's a result.
Yeah.
So instead of maybe looking, well, sometimes we say, man, I feel like crap. Oh man, no, wait a minute. I got a result from that thing and I don't like the result that I'm getting. It doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
It kind of gets us to think a little bit differently. So it's a lot of a change. Uh, Change has to do a lot with what you're saying to yourself. It really does. Changes. I mean, you can literally just even just by changing your words, just by changing the way you talk, You can change your life. You don't even have to use life. You don't have to write. You don't have to do any of that, which I always recommend all of these other tools because they're going to help you more. But literally just by changing, simply by stopping and saying, you know what, yesterday I lost, man. What a, pardon my French, what a fucking idiot I am. You know what? I could have freaking did the other thing or freaking did the, instead of stopping right then and there and saying, man, all right, I did it again, right? I got a result, man. This is a result. And the only reason why you would stop and say, I got a result is because you want change. You're not going to stop and say, okay, I got a result. What is this result? It's like I have friends and people that I give them warnings about their vehicle, right? Say, hey, take care of your vehicle. It's like if you keep driving your vehicle with the light on, they used to be called dummy lights, I believe, right, Jim? Mm-hmm. They used to call them dummy lights. I never thought why they called them dummy lights. I didn't know. I realized recently that they called them dummy lights because it was kind of a play on words for people that weren't paying attention to those signals. So you drive your car. There's been women that have driven in the gas stations with no oil or in no water in the radiator. Well, the thing is, it's flashing. It's telling you. And so that's a result, right? No oil. And that's a result of something that you should have been doing that you didn't do, whatever. So our lives are the same thing. And some things are not going to be that easy. I'll admit they're not. But if you can get into an environment where you can sit down and think, hey, what's going on, and things begin to show, you begin to see, and you can begin to work in those areas of your life. But again, you create these environments so you can see the results that you're getting. And yeah, some results are not going to be, we're not always going to get the best results. That's just life too. We're going to have to accept some of the bad along the way. It's just par for the course. But
there could be negative, negative consequences to our actions. But, how do we treat ourselves? How do we talk to ourselves? And, when we call ourselves stupid, when we put ourselves down, when we have that embarrassing feeling, that angry feeling, that, this despair feeling, I like to go and associate it with the demons and the devils. I associate all those negative feelings, anxiety, negative self-talk. I like to go and say, you know what? That's just, all that nonsense. I know who you are. That's not me. That's not me. That's the BS, that is trying to control me. That's have been controlling me for all my life and pushing me into my addictions, into addictions. So when you feel these results, these emotions, these negative emotions, these self-deprecating emotions, get some space between you and it and just label it as not you, say that, what, this is something that's against me and I don't have to accept it. I don't have to go ahead and put myself down. Mm-hmm. I screwed up. Yeah, I screwed up, but I'm going to go and do better. I'm going to go ahead and learn from
you. Create an environment right there for yourself with your own words, with your own sound. It's not just the words. It's the sound. There's more. There's air. There's a lot of things that we don't even think about when we speak. And all of that is affecting us.
And you see, and that's pushing back. That's pushing back.
To create. So in those, like you're saying, Jim, in that instance, you have to create an environment. You have to create an environment for yourself right then and there. Use your mouth. Maybe you can just close your eyes and just say, stop. That's it. Just stop. Just the mere words. Or even telling yourself, I need to pause. Words are powerful when we learn how to use them. I gotta do my 30-minute interlude. I'm already late. Man, we're running out of time here. This discussion's becoming so juicy. I'm starting to sweat. No, I'm just kidding. I do sweat a little bit. I think we all do. All right, I got to get the proverb in here. I get so distracted. All right, John 6:35. Again, I'm a Bible reader, and I believe in God, and I don't go to church. I'm not going to go to church, so that's another subject. John 6:35. It says, Jesus said unto them, I am the bread of life. Now, I want to share something from here real quick with all of us. Jesus said, I am the bread of life. He that cometh to me shall never hunger. He shall never hunger. That's interesting how he says shall never hunger. And then he that believeth on me shall never thirst. So we're not going to go hungry and we're not going to go thirsty. Those are very, very, very hopeful words. That's a very hopeful sentence. Now, there's other sentences in the Bible that are not hopeful, but that one is. And it's in particular, when I come across the word like that, there's some really deep meaning in what God is saying here about never hunger and never thirst. There's something very, very deep. And I'll tell you, if that's not hopeful, to me it is a place where I don't have to worry about eating or being thirsty anymore. For what? Interesting. What are we thirsty and hungry for? If we really dig deep down inside ourselves, we'll find out. So thank you for letting me share the proverb. And I do want to thank you guys really quick. I know we got a few minutes left, and I think we've had a question. Again, please feel free. I got to play this clip. I'm going to give Jim a minute here after this. But I thank you, first of all, for supporting this mission. I thank all of you guys. All of you guys have in some way supported. So I want to thank you for that. But please continue. Share, like, you can give a like on the video. You can comment on a video. And if you can donate, donate. Keep the number 23 in mind. The number 23 in mind. Hey. Calmate, chico. All right. So I know the number 23 is a kind of a curious number, huh? Anyways, hey, our account is big enough to accept $1, and grateful for that. So whatever. And make sure that you're subscribed to the channel so that when we go live, we put up content. You can communicate. You can make contact. There might be something that we can support you with. Something we can do. Something we can share. Something we can look at. So with that, I thank all of you guys for supporting the mission. And let's keep, we're going into 2024 pretty soon here, and another broadcast or two will be on the other side. So I'm looking for questions. Go ahead, Jim. I'm looking for questions.
Yeah, I mean, like, I always like to look at movies, to act as like symbolism, analogies. I think about Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark. There was a scene where Indiana Jones went after the Ark that the Nazis took. So he was in the truck, and all these Nazis were crawling all around, and he got beat up by them. He almost got thrown off the truck, but he came back. He crawled back into the cab, and threw the Nazi out through the windshield.
So somehow he got got the
and
strength.
Right, yeah, and you can see him get a hold of the steering wheel, get the gears, put it in gear, and he had control of that truck, and he ran those Nazis off of the road. You see, Belloc, his nemesis, And I like to think about those little things. We have control, we have power, and it's exciting and it's motivating that we do have that kind of power, to not let these demons, all this evil that has ingrained in our minds, to have control. So yeah, You know, gambling or addiction. You know, emphasize your practice and improvement on the way you think. You know, how are you thinking? You know, how are you thinking? What are you thinking about? Analyze your emotions. You know, reject all the negative stuff. You know, peace. We. You know, one of the things that I remember hearing is, never make a decision with money when you are tired or like angry or scared or fearful. Okay, never make a decision with money when you're in
or
that
late in the
situation.
or late in the evenings.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It's
You know,
not
it's like
good to
we
make late evenings. It's better to do it earlier.
we make bad decisions when we are emotional. You know, and a lot of those bad decisions are the addictions that we go to, right? So getting to that state where we can be at peace and convince ourselves that we are in control. We are in control of what we think. We are in control of what we accept and what we reject.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's that, and the only way that we can believe that and hear that and even understand it is if you go into a place that actually preaches this kind of stuff, right? The Bible says, the Bible itself will tell you that faith comes by hearing and hearing by the word of God. That's the Bible. So you read the Bible, you create faith according to what God says. He gives you the measure of faith to believe. The more we come here, the more we grow. I would hope that we wouldn't get more stupider, right? Imagine coming to a program and you become more stupider after a while, and after you've been there 6 months, spending an hour every day, and then 6 months later you realize, man, you're you're in the dumps. You're like, you're well, we went to that place and it was an environment for stupidity, and anyhow, maybe a little bit exaggerated, if you will. Um, but I'm grateful that we can come here, and I'm again, we're all learning. I'm learning more every day. It's just amazing. We get results. The more you do something, the more you write, the more you talk to yourself by yourself, the more results, the more you see why you're doing what you're doing. And again, if you're going to be on the offense, you got to be on the defense too. By the way, I want to thank you guys for we got a video. I'm going to play part of the video. I want you guys need to hear this. And I do want to thank all of you guys for contributing here. I've got the call to action coming, and Jim bringing up this topic kind of we've kind of dived into here a little bit. We always go back and forth. It's kind of always I kind of consider this a little bit of a, what do you call it, a buffet, even though we got to try to keep everything. We should be learning, I guess, right? We should be learning. So let me see. Why does it seem so hard to motivate myself and have positive talk? Well, it's because you're not in the environment, Bill. And not only that, we go back, if you remember your childhood, we some of us haven't even really lived our childhood. We've been in survival mode for the longest that we can remember. Yeah, a child doesn't recognize that he's in survival mode. An adult should, right? An adult should, because you can't be in survival mode all the time, especially in measure of survival mode. It's just not healthy for you. And here we are, but we come to a place like this, and we can see, ourselves for who we are and what we can be, or what we can do and what we can become, instead of just saying, well, I'm a dirt bag, I'm a loser, I did this over here, and I had some bad thoughts the other day, and I went to the casino and I lost $400. And yeah, you can focus on all of that, and you're going to get more of it. The more, again, that's you creating an environment there, right? The more that you gamble, the more that you lose, the more that you talk to yourself. Those are environments, and that's not conducive to offense. You're not becoming offensive or even defense. Maybe I'm not understanding the offense defense thing, Jim. But I think you have to have a stance, and that's kind of a defense, isn't it? You have to have both. You have to have an offense and a defense. And where did you learn all that? I mean, I didn't learn it as a child. I wish I could have learned stuff like that as a child, right? But now we're adults. And we're still trying to find out, man, but the good thing is that we've made it thus far. We're here, and we're here for a reason. We're not completely broken down. At least I don't feel completely broken down like I used to. Man, whoa. I remember those days. Broken down. You talk about you work for 2 weeks and your paycheck's gone. Actually, my paycheck was gone a month ahead of time. There was times where I would have to work a whole month just to recoup, to try to catch up on some of the bills. So I was already in debt 4 weeks in advance. That's how bad it would get for me. It wasn't just a payday. It'd be a month. And you know, after a while, you hypnotize yourself. You become so numb, so jaded because you're doing this to yourself. You feel sorry for yourself. You beat yourself down, and the cycle goes over and over. And you're like mush. Doesn't matter. You know what? If I win, go to the casino. If I lose, I'm gonna go anyways. It doesn't matter. You're not. It's like you're not thinking. You're not, wow, what am I doing to myself? All right, I think we're coming close to the end here, and I got to get this clip in, Jim.
Yeah, one more point for Bill. Bill, one of the things that I suggest is to just keep in mind, seeing things from new perspectives. I mean, really meditate on situations. I mean, a lot of people don't believe that they can go and have control over their own emotions. They have power. It's like, like for me, it's like a customer screams and yells and sends insults, but I can be quiet. I can, just, be quiet, listen, speak kindly. I don't have to, a lot of people say, you're going to take that from him. You're not going to get angry. How can you not get angry? He said all those things to you. It's like, no, I don't need to. You see, wow, that's a new way of looking at it. It's like, gosh, it's like, I don't have to be like that,
Yep.
and
Don't
for
have
you
to
there,
be like
Bill,
that.
you can actually, I mean, there's, start looking at the world, in a different way, put on some new glasses and, start, imagining, seeing how you want to be, how you want to feel, instead of feeling like you have to call yourself a loser, because of XYZ in the past. That's a different way of perspective. Yeah, those things happen, but I'm not going to accept those labels. So why not? Those things happen. You have to. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't have to accept that kind of stuff.
You can just file it away. It's there. Whatever happens, it's always a part of us, but we can file it away somewhere where, it's a filing cabinet that we don't have to open. We can do that with things, and some things are going to be easier to file away. And some things are going to be a little bit more. They might take a little bit more time. You may not understand something, but you don't give up, right? Just because you got a bad, you can't throw, like they say, throw the baby out with the bathwater. You got to work with whatever it is that you have. Work. And keep, we're not going to be 100%. I got a message I want to share here. Again, Bill, reach out, be a part of this community, stay plugged in here, and you can email us, you can send messages. Everything has a beginning, man. And you're getting a lot of results, and the results that you're getting, I can tell. I don't have to read into I don't have to be a psychic or a soothsayer or somebody that, has to conjure up the dead. No, I can see it, right, and I can feel it, right? And we can be honest. That's why this place is good, because we can be honest. What a place to come to. There's no judgment here. Nobody's better than anybody. We're all like seeking to, yeah, some of us might have a little bit more or be further up ahead. It doesn't matter. This is a think tank, and when we come here, we can learn to think, and you should. You learn to think for yourself, stand up for yourself. And like Jim is saying, you fight against these things that are going on. You actually fight and say, you know what? No, yeah, I'm not going to have that. Today, I'm not going to have it. I've had it for 4 years. I've had it for 4 weeks. And you don't have to yell, kick, jump up and hit your head on the ceiling. You can just say it very politely to yourself. I've had enough. And I'm not doing this. And I'll tell you, one of the self-talk, and I know I'm pushing this today, self-talk and journaling, folks. Bill, I'm going to encourage you, get a paper, just a little thing, write a few sentences on there. Just a few sentences, three sentences, something that you can focus on good, some achievements. And if you want to write the negatives on there, the negatives can also help you too, because they'll cause pain. Right? Jim talked about this in several episodes. You want to create pain and push it towards that area so that you can, if you create pain, we can do that. We can create pain. We know how to create pain upon ourselves. And that, yeah, I know that's easier said than done, but again, it's a life hack. It is a life hack. So we're here for you, man. We're here. So I do want to say thank you. We're not going to leave. We're going to play this clip here. This is a good clip. Please pay attention to what this is. A voice from the underground, from the underworld. Listen to this about gambling and the future of all of this stuff that's happening.
Gambling is used extensively all over the world to launder money. If I was to estimate, based on the amount of accounts I've seen of that nature, it would have to be millions and millions of dollars that is laundered every year. It's just a scam. The fact that nobody can win, we only want losing customers. That's it. It was just fucked. And they know what advertising works, what algorithm works. They know how to maximize their profit, which is to get people to lose more and more. It is just rotten to the core. I was a customer account supervisor at one of the biggest gambling companies in the world. With 21st century technology, the punter doesn't really know what's going on. And behind the scenes, there's all of this maths going on that analyzes your betting and ensures the company wins. It will always win. Customers would be categorized based on their profitability. So if a customer lost millions of dollars, they would be labeled a VIP. And only the best staff would talk to them. But if you were a problem customer, that meant that you were winning money. So you'd be labeled with a big badge that said that you're a problem, and that needs to be dealt with. The risk rating is done by an algorithm. It's just how much they've lost against whatever other metrics the company's decided. The risk rating essentially turns off winners and stops them from betting and cranks up the dial for anybody that's losing so they can lose more and more and more money. It's actually a design feature to ensure that those that lose are allowed to lose more. So if a customer says something that could indicate they've got a problem with gambling, you would just have to go through a series of questions and just tick, 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 and that was it. Suicide calls were to be dealt with by only a senior manager, but I had a manager tell me that they just had to make a decision based on the threat and stick to it, and that it didn't matter once they hung up the phone because they didn't know whether or not they followed through with their threat or not, so that it didn't really matter. That's probably still the worst thing I've ever heard anybody say, because you don't know whether or not they killed themselves or not. It didn't matter. It's an industry known thing. Gambling is used extensively all over the world to launder money. The company would treat customers different depending on what country they were from. If there was a whole heap of customers in England sign up with similar details, that would be a suspected syndicate of people trying to get one up on the company. I raised things of a similar nature in countries in South America, and all of those accounts were waved through, and that happened multiple times. When you get 20 individuals join up within a space of 20 minutes, or with matching email addresses and account numbers, it's quite obvious that's a systemic tactic to launder money. If I was to estimate, based on the amount of accounts I've seen of that nature, it would have to be millions and millions of dollars that are laundered every year. And that's just that company alone. When you realize that the company doesn't care about people, makes you feel appalled and sort of disgusted within yourself, because you know that you're helping a company harm people, and virtually deliberately harm people, because the culture is that it's all about revenue.
Wow. I remember watching this video some time ago, and it really kind of opened up my mind to some things. But there's even more that goes beyond that. This is an older video. There's a lot of new stuff that's happening, and unfortunately, people that don't have a think tank or an enviro at home, young people, young children at home, they're all being groomed for a lot of this stuff. Of course, there's a lot of other stuff the children are being groomed into too, that are it's just evil. But you can do what you're called to do. You're called to stand in your corner. I guess that's what I'm doing. Anyways, Jim, that was a pretty interesting video about these things that are going on in casinos. So yeah, let that be a warning, man. Gambling is definitely a lie. I've got the call to action. I'm coming up here, Jim. Go ahead if you want to share.
Oh yeah, yeah. In regards to that video, that's just another example of the evil that has been just programmed into our minds. Okay, yeah, here's a solution to your emotional triggers. Go to the casino where they can go and just steal all your money, take all your money, beat you down. Bill, just it's like when you see this, you can start becoming more and more aware of everything out there, like social media. Look at the news, see how you're responding to watching all that trash, all that propaganda, all that negativity, that fear, all that kind of stuff, and see how you're responding. It's like, my gosh, it's like, look at how it's making me feel, look at all this evil programming that's going on, and say, you know what, I'm now aware, I'm onto these things of the world that's trying to go and push my buttons. You can get angry about that. That's something that's something that you can get, rightfully angry about.
Righteous indignation, the Bible says.
Right.
Yeah.
Indignation. And once you become aware of that stuff, you become more empowered to say, you know what, no, I'm not going to be triggered. No, I'm not going to feel bad about myself. No, I'm not going to let that social media make me feel like worthless garbage.
What happens is, you're actually, it's like we're hypnotized, right? If you think about it, it's like we are hypnotized. So we're doing things, right, we don't want to do, but we're doing them. So then you come to the awareness, oh, wow, I'm hypnotized. Okay, well, how am I becoming hypnotized? Well, something or somebody's hypnotizing you. So now you recognize, okay, well, I should be hypnotizing myself then. Exactly. Learn to do that, right? To hypnotize yourself, to create these environments. Learn to use your self-talk. These are all little gifts that I've learned God has given us. And by the way, I want to read from the book. I'm going to read from the book. You can actually get the book there, the link below. If you want to get the book, I would encourage you to get it, write in it, tear pages out. You can do all kinds of stuff with this. Make airplane out of the pages and stuff. So I'm going to read you out of page 46, just a little reminder. Section 7, it says, take time to be quiet with yourself. We're coming to the end of the program, so I want to just kind of do a call to action here. Jim, did you finish your point, or did I cut you off?
Yeah, no.
I try not to cut Jim off, just every once.
No, you're fine.
We're good? All right, we're good. Well, we're going to be ending the program. I know it's getting late and people become edgy. Man, it's an hour, Santos. Come on, man. We got to go to work tomorrow. Okay, don't bust my chops. Take time to be quiet with yourself. Utilize 15 to 20 minutes a couple of times. Again, page 46, the little red book, little section there. Utilize 15 to 20 minutes a couple times a week to simply think. Think. And listen to that word. It's a beautiful word. Listen to your heart. Listen to your inner voice inside. You remember I remember when I was a kid, I was really never heard. When I was a child, I don't really recall being heard. There might have been a few times, but I really don't recall being heard. So no wonder why I grew up in life not hearing people. So I wasn't hearing people. People weren't hearing me. And where did all that come from? Childhood, little things that you learn, the training, the boot camp that we all get, that we have to grow out of. But listen to your inner voice now, right? As an adult, this is very rewarding on a very personal level. I'm going to say that again. This is very rewarding on a very personal level. I say personal in here because what you will experience is different than what I would experience from doing this or Jim. So only you can experience your own experience, which is cool. So find what it is your experience and start living that. Let that become a good distraction in your life. The 7-day challenge, I want to congratulate all of you guys and girls, a community that are accepted the 7-day challenge, and you made it. Once again, you made it 7 days. 7, right? 5 plus 2. 7 days, you made it. So, yeah, but remember, there's more, right? Now there's another 7-day challenge. I'm accepting the 7-day challenge. I'm on it. So if I mess up during the week, I will be the first one to come on YouTube and say, hey, you know what? I fluffed up. But that's not going to happen because I live in the PNGZ and I know better. I don't want to go in there and get another a bit taken out of my butt because my butt's getting smaller every year. So if I go to the casino, they take another chunk out of my butt, then I'm not going to have no butt. It's going to hurt wherever I sit. So I got to save myself. All right. So that's all we've got. We're going to be back here Sunday, Lord willing, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Again, make sure that you're subscribed, share, like, comment, and support the mission if you truly feel supported. We thank Jim out of Tucson, Arizona. And I'll give you a last word there, Jim. As you do that, before you do that, let me do a little shout out here. City by the Bay. Came in late, buddy. A little late. Barry Bob. We've got some Jordan P. says the gambling industry is capitalism. The drug companies. Yeah. Good share there, Barry. Bill, we appreciate you being with us. Please take what you can and run, man. Run with this. And come back, man. We're here. We're not going anywhere as long as God keeps us here. All right, Mark and Laura, thank you guys for being gluttons of my punishment. No, I'm just joking. You guys are good safety drivers out there on the road. Be safe, as always. Race, Ken, let me see, out of time. And Mark Swift, Laura, Jim. Who else was with us? Well, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And I really appreciate you guys. I really do. It's all going towards a good cause. All of it. You know? Yeah, I'm on my way to the Bahamas next week, man. YouTube money. I wish. All right. Jim, any last words before we go?
Yeah. Yeah, we can all take back, control of our emotions in an empowering way. We can all take back control of our emotions in an empowering way. Why? Because we want to be in a state of peace, and have a sense of direction in our life. So that's all about taking back control. I say we've been in defense all our life because of the evilness of this world, being put in the corner. Now it's time to fight back. It's time to, believe in yourself, and believe that you have this ability, to take back control and stop letting these triggers, the evilness of the world to send you back to those awful addictions. Okay. So yeah, that's what I have to say. We have that power.
I see the numbers started climbing. So we'll see you guys next Sunday. Thank you for hanging out. Hey, leave a criticism, leave an observation, but take action. We'll see you at the top on the inside of my next one. See you, Jim.
Thanks,
Peace,
Santos.
man.
Peace out. Have a great week.
Beware the bots.
Bots, yeah. Take care. Bye-bye.